Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel. The SEC has been sued again by Empower Oversight, and nothing but praise and credit to Empower Oversight for sure, but I still want to acknowledge that if this would not be happening if not for the XRP community specifically, and also without the efforts of Attorney John Deaton specifically, who is representing roughly 76,000 XRP holders. I think it was those efforts that caught the attention of Empower Oversight in the first place. And the founder, and I'll show you all the specifics, but the founder stated, and I quote, and he wrote this, to the SEC, "This is not a game." That's the literal quote, and I'll show you the additional context of all of this, and I'm going to share with you at the beginning part of the video that, along with some comments from Attorney John Deaton on this, and then I'm going to share with you the specifics as a release, the information released by Empower Oversight, the organization itself. But you'll love to see it. I love seeing pushback, against the SEC, but on offense. It's not some sort of defensive response where people are pushing back. And I still love to see the pushback regardless. But this is taking it to them. And what's happening in a nutshell? Well, I'll tell you here, even at the outset of the video. It has to do with the SEC. And it looks to me like they're just intentionally hiding information that they're not legally allowed to hide. They are required to submit specific information once it's requested due to a Freedom of Information Act. And they've just decided to this point, after nearly 2 years, yeah, we're just not going to do it because we're asshat pricks at the SEC. I'm pretty sure that's pretty much it. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, and here you can see John Deaton's crypto law organization breaking this news this morning. And the Twitter account reads as follows. Breaking, government watchdog sues SEC again. Yet again. Apparently it's necessary to just sue these little bitches multiple times, and then maybe they'll finally respond. So again, government watchdog sues SEC again, opens second front in fight for detailed Hinman, Clayton emails, phone logs, meeting notes with names, entities, individuals. Empower Oversight suing to force SEC production of all records relating to communications between officials and a detailed list of named parties which the SEC has not produced. And there's a number of names on the screen right here. I'm not going to literally read through it, but it's here if you want to pause and take a gander. This is the request that is being made, and I'm going to go ahead and move on. But just for those of you that do care to actually go through it, it's right there. Go ahead and hit pause, but I'm going to move on here. And so here we have Jason Foster, who founded this organization, Empower Oversight, and he wrote the following. And he did tag the SEC in this. He wrote, "Hey, SEC, this is not a game. The law requires you to do these searches, and you have known it all along. Time for the foot dragging and dishonesty to stop. Be serious professionals. Do the searches and produce the documents." And I will say this. Look, this shows, maybe they're probably just trying to hide something. I don't know what, because why else do you behave like this? But maybe they're just hoping that this would just go away, but it should be very clear at this point. Jason Foster, the founder of this organization, and Empower Oversight, the organization, they're not going away. So if they thought that they could just kind of drag this out and, if you really want to get these documents, you're going to have to sue us into oblivion, good luck. Well, they're going to get sued then because, they have been multiple times now by Empower Oversight. So they're not going to actually get away with not producing these documents. It looks like they literally are just dragging their feet with the intent to hide information that the public should have. So, we can all speculate as to why. I don't know what the specifics are that they're hiding here, but it's always fun to speculate because when you're talking about the stuff having to do with Jay Clayton and Bill Hinman and all the millions that was made, especially by Bill Hinman, well, something might be going on there. That's not the craziest thing to speculate. Well, Attorney John Deaton retweeted that, and he said, "Someone at the SEC saw the list of names provided by Empower Oversight and said, oh, S-word." I'm censoring, of course. We won't even look for those names. The private sector with bad guys like SB fraud is not the only sector that must be cleaned up. Bad guys exist in the public sector as well. We must clean house. Yeah, so I'll say this, and of course I do understand, to be fair, that not literally every human working at the SEC is some sort of devil monster. I got that. But the ones that are, preventing, this level of transparency, effectively obstructing justice, they need to go. They should not be working for any part of the federal government. Absolutely not. This is not remotely okay. So the good news is with Jason Foster, this guy, he's got the fire in his belly to keep on fighting and pushing back against this. But I think the SEC is just counting on most people just folding up shop and not having the, either the resources or the drive to see this through. Then there was also this tweet from Attorney John Deaton on this topic. He said, "It is 100% safe to say that the SEC is stonewalling because they are hiding the truth. I know that there are good people who work at the SEC, but the leadership is corrupt. Hard stop. Let the public see the emails and documents. Thank you, Empower Oversight. It shouldn't be this difficult." That's for damn sure. And then somebody from our community named Mike wrote to John Deaton and said, "John, would there ever be a reason for Judge Torres would wait to make a decision on the Ripple case, waiting for Congress to act and put some clarity in place first?" To which John Deaton responded, "No. Congress isn't going to pass anything the president signs until 2025 at the earliest. The Democrats, who are in charge of 2/3 of the government, just passed around anti-crypto talking points, and Elizabeth Warren is running on an anti-crypto platform. She could be waiting 10 years. Well, that's for damn sure. Yeah, so, no, Judge, and I wouldn't have suspected that anyway. Judge Torres waiting for something like that. Yeah, well, it's already pretty clear. In terms of any sort of real clarity potentially coming from Congress, as Deaton has been saying for a long time now, that's probably years away, unfortunately, in all likelihood. But that's just how it is. And then Attorney Deaton also said, Empower Oversight has no affiliation with me, Crypto Law, Ripple, or XRP. The company has nothing to do with crypto. The evidence me and my 76,000 friends assembled showed massive conflicts of interest and gross appearances of impropriety, so Empower acted accordingly. And so that's why I was touching on that at the outset of the video, because I just want to note how freaking cool that is. And so that's where this all stemmed from the XRP community, from Attorney John Deaton's efforts, making an actual difference. Real lawsuits filed as a result of all of this. And I appreciate it, because, again, Empower Oversight, it's a newer organization within the last couple of years or so. I can't remember if it's their 2 or 3 anniversary. I guess it would be their 3-year anniversary this summer. I can't remember exactly. I have to look up. But the point is, it's a newer organization. And right out the gate, they jumped on this. That is cool as hell. And it's not the only thing that they're doing, but this is something that they have a heavy focus on. And you just love to see it. It's not, as John Deaton said, not even a crypto organization. They're all over this stuff. So take a look at this now. This is what Empower Oversight actually shared regarding this development just earlier today. Press release. Titled, Empower Oversight sues SEC in D.C. Court for D.C. Court for documents. Yeah, there's a period after the C, which made me pause as if it were the end of a sentence, but it's D.C., Washington, D.C. Moon Family Sedan fail. Let me try reading that one again. Empower Oversight sues SEC in D.C. Court for documents in crypto conflicts controversy. Hashtag nailed it. Fuck yeah. All right, so it reads as follows. Empower Oversight filed a complaint against the Securities and Exchange Commission in the United States District Court for the District of Columbia, seeking to compel the SEC to comply with a December 2022 Freedom of Information Act, that's a FOIA request, regarding conflicts of interest and selective enforcement by former high-level officials regarding cryptocurrencies. The December 2022 request was an effort to counter the SEC's bad faith gamesmanship in failing to comply with Empower Oversight's initial request more than a year earlier. In August 2021, Empower Oversight submitted a detailed FOIA request to the SEC seeking all communications between senior SEC officials and their former and future employers and related entities regarding cryptocurrencies. Former senior SEC official William Hinman received millions of dollars in compensation from his former employer Simpson Thacher while helping guide the SEC's enforcement decisions on cryptocurrencies. Simpson Thacher was part of a group that promoted Ethereum, a cryptocurrency that Hinman publicly declared was not a security, while the SEC claimed in enforcement actions that other similar cryptocurrencies were unregistered securities. Since then, Empower Oversight has been at the forefront of the battle for SEC transparency. In December 2021, Empower Oversight filed a lawsuit against the SEC in the Eastern District of Virginia, seeking to compel the agency to provide responsive documents to the FOIA requests. On February 23rd of this year, Empower Oversight supported a motion with Judge Annalisa Torres in the Southern District of New York to gain access to pertinent SEC documents. And now here's a quote from Tristan Leavitt, who is the president of Empower Oversight. Quote, "The SEC's failure to provide any transparency on this issue is making a bad situation look even worse. We're approaching 2 years since Empower Oversight made its initial FOIA request and 1.5 years since our first lawsuit. Yet the SEC has consistently stonewalled any attempts to shed light on these clear conflicts of interest at the agency. This new suit against the SEC should force the SEC to do the searches it knows it must do under the law to give the public the answers we've long sought." End quote. Spot on. So, they're going to have to do it. That is unquestionable. But they're unfortunately have to be drug kicking and screaming in order to make this happen. And if that's what it takes, so be it. They just think that they're above the law. Some of these people, they're just absolutely terrible. The people involved with all the stuff that I've been covering for over 2 years and we all as a community have been tracking for 2 years now, all of that stuff. Like I said, it doesn't mean that everybody is actually an awful person that works there. But, my gosh, it does seem like, from the top down with the particular leadership that there is right now, it just seems like, by and large, the entity, it's just got to be gutted and remade or just completely just disbanded. Because in its current form, it's just an absolute monster. They are not a force for good. And in particular, I understand that a ton of that has to do with the guy that's in charge right now, Kim Jong-Ginzer. Of course I got that. Supreme leader and dictator of the SEC. Yeah, I totally understand that. But it can't stand the way that it is, and there are so many people working there that are just willing to do his evil bidding. So there are some terrible monsters there. There are some. That is undeniably... It's people that are not interested in seeking a faithful allegiance to the law. Now, who said that in the past? Was that Judge Netburn? Methinks it was. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Family Sedan.